Hi everyone, it's Nicole from My Christmas. Today I am going to look at some decorating ideas for Mother's Day because I thought if you're thinking of sending something to Mum, I know from the mail that we are doing through the store, Australia Post is totally inundated at the moment, as are the other courier companies. I know someone whose family member works at one of the courier companies and he's kind of got twice the normal number of parcels he's trying to deal with, so they're all working as best they can, but things can take a bit longer than normal to get out. So fingers crossed we might be able to see our mums if they're local for Mother's Day, but if not and you want to send something, it's probably something you want to get thinking about reasonably soon. So I thought I'd have a look at some of the artificial flowers that we've got and just a few ideas. Last year we did a beautiful table display for Mother's Day and the staff helped set it up. A couple of them helped set it up, Fiona in particular, and then the rest of the staff came over because we had some gorgeous cakes there and we all enjoyed afternoon tea. Sorry Mum, you didn't get it, but the staff all had fun. So this year obviously we won't be doing the same thing, but I was also thinking about what to do. I thought Mother's Day, it's not that far away. Probably about 3, maybe 4 weekends away. So that's what we're doing. If you haven't in the past and you like what we do, don't forget to share our videos. You might even choose one of your favorites to share with friends. Let them know that we're on regularly because we'd love more people to know about what we're doing, share in the experience with us. Obviously learn about our business as well, mychristmas.com.au. As we don't have the store, it's all about the website at the moment. All right, let's get started. And as I said, Zoe will pass through any questions to me. So first of all, I've had these in the store for a while, and when they came in, they were a bit more rustic than I kind of thought they were going to be for Christmas decorating. I haven't worked out what to do, but I actually thought they could work quite well for Mother's Day. So I've just grabbed some of the flowers that I had in my stash, some, I think the peony roses, some of the gum, all artificial, the hydrangeas, and thought I would just have a bit of a play with creating a centerpiece with this. And I thought keeping it low, as I said, I'm a little bit more, my personal taste is a little bit more, the whimsical and structured and so forth. So this is a bit more natural than is my normal style. So I'm going to keep things low because I don't want it to be the feature. I want everything else that's in it to be the feature. What I've done here with the foam is I've just cut it to slightly bigger than the piece, and then I have pushed it in. If you look, you can actually see my palm prints in there so that it's as firm as possible in there and won't move around when I've put my flowers in. And I want to pretend that I'm going to have this in the middle of the table. So I was thinking these things, as I said, if we get to be with Mum, that's even better. But if you're going to send something to your mum, then you could possibly send her a nice table piece and, something you bake or whatever, we've all got things we know our mums love. But I just thought, sort of having something that so when she looked, she can kind of get a bit excited about the fact that there's something special for her on Mother's Day that you've made. Even grown-ups like to make things for their mums. Could be nice. So let's just start with the hydrangeas being the biggest element in here. And I'm going to kind of work this display on diagonally for each of the elements. I don't have a lot of flowers, so I've got to work with what I've got here. I always try and have a little bit more height in the middle, even though it is low, and then bringing it down to the sides there. I've cut a lot of these things for you rather than you sort of sitting and watching me do that. Kept some of the leaves off the hydrangeas too, because these can be really handy to put into the piece. In fact, we'll should be able to get that in under here now. So we're just using our foam, see how it sits when we've got it in there. It just depends on how well these things are wired too, whether they're going to work. If not, I'll use a different flower in there. So we'll see how it goes. And then I was sort of thinking these flowers, so how many of these I've got? 5, because this is all I had in my stash. So one side will have 3 and one side will have 2. This is a little bit smaller, so sorry, I should be working to you, sorry guys. So if you have questions, let me know. The hydrangeas have come from the store. These were just flowers I had in our stash that we had, I think we got last year for our Mother's Day, when we were doing our Mother's Day display. And just putting a couple on this side, and obviously, as I said, these stems have already been cut. I wasn't really sure what I was doing, so I did have a little play before we got on here, because I didn't want it to be a complete disaster. Now at this stage that looks a bit kind of, I don't know, all over the place, so I think it's nice then to just add a little bit of definition between some of the elements. So this is where some of these little stems, so I broke up just one of these gum leaf, and if you've got real gum in your garden, you could probably put that in there. I mean, obviously the advantage of this is if you're sending it out early and it's going out to your mum early, it doesn't matter about obviously not being real flowers. If you're using gum, I think it'll dry quite well, so it should be all right in there. Anyone who's a florist, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But otherwise, you know, you can get a piece of artificial gum to put in there as well. And you don't want it to be exactly the same on both sides. You do want to have a little bit of definition. So I'm going to have sort of 3 on that side, and I might just do 2 and make them a little bit shorter here. But I just kind of like that it separates out the hydrangea in the middle from the other pieces. And then I cut up one of our leaf picks, which is, there's a bigger piece of it. I don't have one. Hang on, I'll just check if I kept one out. I did. So this just starts as one of these picks here, and I just break it down into little pieces. And if you cut it, well, you can always have a wide piece that fits into your foam. And you just want to always try and shape things down as well as up, so that you've got that whole shape in the piece that you're making. See this one, I don't know if you can see that doesn't have a wire, so it's a little bit trickier to put into the foam. If you're having problems and it's not sticking for you, you could always use a little bit of your glue when you put it into the foam to just hold it in place as well. So I'm just going to sit it there because I don't have to transport it anywhere, but if you're going to be packing it up to send to mum, yeah, that's better, then you might choose to do something with that and just glue it into place. So I think we're almost done. As I said, you know, sometimes it's not about having a lot, it's just about having beautiful colours together, and the softness of these colours I think is just obviously perfect for mum. Just to give you a bit of an idea, I think these big flowers are about $13.95. These ones I think $9.95. So you got 3 flowers in there, and then these ones were in my stash, so I can't remember what they were. I think I probably paid about $10. Again, I just bought this for my stash, and this pick, it's under $10 from memory. And then it's always handy to have some sort of leaf that you can put in. So that's idea number 1. All right, so just a mix of soft. You'll see everything I do is low because I just like more uniform styling like that. This one is just one I have in the house anyway. So again, and I actually got this vase from mum, but it's handy if you're using artificial flowers and just putting them in a vase. It's actually handy that this is slightly frosted so you don't see that it's not sitting in water, because it always obviously is a giveaway if you don't have the water. There are some like resin things you can put in the bottom. I've never bothered doing that, but I just, when I put the 2 flowers in there, I didn't think it quite finished it off, because it sits with one of my blue and white ginger jars. So it just needed that little pop of green to go with it. So you can always just have a couple of beautiful flowers in a vase to give your mum as well. But the advantage of the artificial, if she's either in a aged care, so if she's an older mum and she's in any aged care, it's always good that you don't have to worry about them finding vases and so forth. You have it all prepared and they can just sit out and it's not going to die in sort of a week like real flowers do. Okay, so then this is one that you will have seen me do a similar style to this in the past with poinsettias, and it's one of my favourite ways to get just a really simple centerpiece. It's always great though to have a few good sized containers. With these, I just keep the foam in here and change up what I'm doing. So it's just a smaller version of the same finish with that kind of marble finish, which is really pretty. These are our clip-on, and they're like a poppy. We were calling them magnolias, but I think it's actually a poppy. And in the pale, that's probably better for colour, in the pale pink with a bit of champagne, which I thought again for Mother's Day was a really pretty option. What I did was just pull, I'm not going to pull another one off because I should have left one on, pull the clip off. It came straight off in my hand because you don't want that in the foam. These flowers are $6.95 each, to give you an idea of what it's going to cost you to make it. And as I said, foam is this shape container. It's always going to be a little bit looser because of course it's wider at the bottom than the top. So you just want to make it, you wedge it in as best you can. All right. First flower, just always try and make sure you've got your petals nicely prepared before you put it in place, so that it feels, of course, you know, often they'll have sort of separated a little bit like that, or they're not quite in position, and if you get this right, you're not going to have gaps and you're not going to see the green. All right, so just one in the middle, and then it's just a matter of going around, keeping them tightly packed. How many have I got here? So I've got 3 for both sides. So all I'm doing is putting them in on an angle so they're coming down low. Hang on, I haven't looked. Yeah, no, that was right. And so it's really easy. I've, as I said, regularly use red poinsettias with exactly the same style as this for Christmas. Absolutely love it. Think it's a great one for outside too because it's simple and effective. And I just think that, you know, a couple of those on table would look gorgeous. But again, if you wanted to give it as a gift, it's something that doesn't have to. You've got a gap there.
No, I'm just fixing one of the flowers that's bothering me.
But you can see that I mean, you can, if you look closely, you can see a bit of the green, but really for the amount of fluffing around I did, it's well, pretty hard to see anything that's inside that. So I always find repeating of one nice flower like this is a really nice way of getting a beautiful style. Again, having it a little bit higher at the top and coming right down the side. So you're coming down, not just to the edge of your container, but coming down lower than the container to give you that full shape to it. Right, so that's 7 sevens, 49 plus a container, so that's about $70 probably to make something like that up yourself. And then the final thought I had, I was going to do hydrangeas in here, but I've left myself short and have not brought quite enough with me. But I had bought these when I was looking at ways to do personalisation for the table for Christmas Day. I just used some ribbon and actually used some of these stick-on letters that I got at Spotlight to create name places, because no one wants to see my writing. It's terrible. So I did think that it would just be really cute on a, do it this way, on one of these. This is, I showed you this the other day, but this is just a simple container, that a gift I received for Christmas from one of the staff. And I just thought that, you know, to personalise it. So I just thought, you know, if you've got something like this around the house, or if you haven't, and you like the idea of personalising for Christmas Day as well, buying a couple of packs of these are a really handy thing to have in your stash. I don't know if they've got prices, if I can tell you how much they were. No, don't know, sorry. Probably, I'm guessing sort of $5 to $7 a pack is probably my thought. But I had glued in this foam because I didn't want to waste 2 really large pieces, so I used a few smaller ones, but I can't make up what I wanted because I haven't got enough hydrangeas. But just to give you an idea, because I don't think it needed a 3rd white hydrangea. But I would do exactly the same as I've done here, but with the hydrangeas, and I'd cut one short in, or 3 of those were cut short as well. And just so you can get a rough idea, you know, if you have them cut short and sitting in the top, and I'm sure you've seen the roses that are popular at the moment where they have these types of containers just full of rose heads. A lot of them are preserved rose heads, and so you can actually buy some of those as well if you're lucky, if you don't want to use real. But and that's another option where you just fill this with some more florist foam so you can put the rose heads in. But cutting these short and having, yeah, definitely needs another wide in there. But anyway, to have that in there, and I just thought having the little labelling on the outside of it was kind of a cute option as well. I don't know what, as I said, it was a gift, but a couple of dollars I'm sure you can get at different shops. Kosh.com.au was where I think Catherine got those from. So that would be another way of using the hydrangeas. So they're the ideas I had for tonight. If you like the idea of some more kind of crafty things for mum, or you know, decorating ideas I should say more than crafty for your mum, I can certainly think of some other ideas, so let me know that as well. I also think it's it's a nice idea to have wreaths for different occasions, so certainly these colours could be used to make a wreath as well, which would be really pretty to welcome mum or to give to mum as a gift. But for the next few days until I see you, thanks again for watching. Take care, have fun, enjoy the beautiful weather, the autumn that we've been enjoying, and I'll be back to make comments and so forth later. Thanks again, cheers, bye.